Hello and welcome to Nourish Women Now. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm so excited that you have decided to join us here this evening. We're going to be diving deeply into understanding what is postpartum depletion, depression, and psychosis, and what are the solutions to help women prenatally to understand what can happen to them in the postpartum term, and absolutely what they can do for themselves once they've given birth to their baby. So if you are a midwife or a doula, you are in the right place. If you are a woman or a man who serves other women, you're in the right place. If you are a leader in women's health, we are so happy that you are here. If you are a caregiver who needs to be cared for, you're in the right place. And if you are a mom needing nutritional support, you are absolutely in the right place. Thank you so much for muting the minute you come on. Yeah, thank you. So that I can focus. Okay. So what is the definition of nourish? To cause to grow or live in a healthy state, especially by providing with enough good food or nutrients. That's from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Okay. So within this definition, we must also look at a healthy state and good food and nutrients, which we're being challenged with currently in the United States of America by what's going on with our food systems and the degree to which our crops and the food that we eat every day conventionally grown has been sprayed with harmful cancer-causing pesticides and herbicides. And we'll be talking more about that a little bit later. So a quote that I came up with, because I've been giving a lot of thought to this for several decades now in terms of how do we nourish ourselves as women? How do we help ourselves, right? Because it isn't just about nutrition, but this is so foundational. So this is a quote that I came up with. The well-nourished woman loves herself completely so she can give to others deeply. When we aren't nourished, everyone suffers. When we have a family, we are the heart of the family. And when we're suffering, everyone else suffers. We are the center of the family. And therefore, we must prioritize our wellness and we must prioritize our nutrition. So who am I? You might be wondering. Well, I am the mother of 2 teenagers. I am the creator of a teaching that I called Sacred Birth Work 20 years ago. And then I founded the Sacred Birth Mentor Program, which was an opportunity for birth professionals to learn the principles of sacred birth work and to teach them to their clients. I'm a longtime birth rights and health freedom activist. And I am the former chair of the Million Mom Movement Council, which is the activist arm of our company, Purium Health Products. And I got to serve in that capacity for 4 years and really raise my voice and support other women and mothers to raise their voices around how much our food systems have been compromised. It was a great honor to serve on that council. 7 years ago, I was a hot mess. I was 10 years postpartum. I was 50 pounds overweight. I was suffering with candida, frozen shoulder, and I was in the middle of wicked perimenopause. I was working 2 different jobs nonstop, and I needed help. And I got that help through, lo and behold, a Facebook Live. A client of mine who was a doctor that I deeply respected, who some of you might even know her mom. Her mom is Janine Parvati Baker, respected author and midwife from the 70s, who's since passed on, sadly. It was her daughter, Dr. Loie Medvin, who introduced this nutrition to me. And initially, I just really wanted, I wanted my body before baby back. I was 10 years in being a mom, and I was like, wow, is this my body for the next 50 years, And so it was vanity, in all honesty. And so I'm going to spider. Hi, let's mute that if we could. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, one moment here. Oh, yeah. So, I want to share with you the inspiration that led to the creation of this event a year ago. I met a woman, her name is Hannah, and her story deeply impacted me. She shared with me that she had been suffering from postpartum psychosis for 3 years and didn't receive any help or support for 3 years. And I was so overwhelmed and upset that this could happen in this day and age to a modern woman in the United States of America. And what I was even more surprised to find out about was the degree to which our nutrition had helped her. So these are her words that I'm going to be reading to you. She does not come on to these kinds of presentations because it can re-trigger the trauma for her. She's still working on the trauma that she endured during those 3 years. But let's hear from her own written words here. I suffered postpartum psychosis. I had delusions, paranoia, and suspiciousness. I had difficulty communicating and lost complete touch with reality, feeling confused and unaware. I had terrifying thoughts about the safety of myself and my baby. I truly thought if I admitted what was really going on in my head, they would take my baby away, put me in jail or a straitjacket. I was not in my right mind, and I was petrified. I was so scared to put this out there for fear of negative judgments, but realized I had to let go of carrying that heavy burden of negativity all around. Fear of hiding the stigma around postpartum psychosis, anxiety, and depression. I don't want to hide it or hide behind it because this transformation saved my life and saved my marriage. My postpartum was bad. I mean, really bad. I couldn't drive. I made excuses why I couldn't attend dinners or social events. I was deeply embarrassed and ashamed. I had no logical thoughts. I couldn't tell the time. I would look at the clock but not understand. So I set alarms to feed my daughter. I had a deep sense of fear of slipping away, partnered with suicidal visions and thoughts. Even my periods were so bad, I would lie on the floor vomiting or have diarrhea. It was awful. My irritability was unfair to my family, yet I had no control. I spent thousands on doctors, acupuncture, naturopathic therapists, herbs, diets, hypnosis. Nothing was working. Unsure of it all, I decided to invest in myself one more time and committed to the protocol of the 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation. Almost 4 years postpartum, I can finally say I am symptom-free. 15 days into the protocol, my husband looked over at me and said, babe, whatever you're doing, never stop. I can now drive, no longer need to nap. And most importantly, I feel like I'm showing up for my family, not wasting another day in the postpartum blur I have been living in. I feel more confident, more focused, more present. My husband and I are better than ever, and I feel like I am not missing another moment. My PMS has gone away. I have to set an alarm to remind me when I will start my period as I have no more symptoms. Such an added bonus I didn't see coming. And I lost the stubborn postpartum pounds that just wouldn't shed. This protocol has literally put breath back in my body. I will be forever grateful to have found these products and the simple solutions they have given me. I write this with the hope that others don't have to feel alone and can find the strength to get through their own postpartum journeys. If I can help just one mama, my transformation story will be worth it. We just celebrated my daughter's 4th birthday. For the first time, I truly celebrated. I was there, present, grateful, and happy. Finding true joy in life again has been my everything. So that's Hannah's story. That's the inspiration for this event. And now I'd like to introduce you to another very special woman in my life, a woman who is a radiant stand for health and wellness to her community. She's a mother of 3. Her name is Karyn, living in South Carolina. She's a sacred birthkeeper and a certified holistic doula on the path of quantum midwife. She has studied at IIN and continues to expand her understanding of regenerative health and holistic herbalism. She is passionate and dedicated to serving and empowering women and families in birth and beyond. Welcome, Kahina.
So good to be here. Thank you so much for creating this space. I have tears in my eyes, and I've been pretty emotional all day, honestly, leading up to this event, because I really feel like I resonate so much with Hannah's story on a lot of levels, as far as just coming back from a pretty desperate state. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. So I'll begin my story with, well, ever since childhood, I have struggled with gut issues and just kind of thought that it was the norm. And I feel like it has had a lot to do with anxiety throughout my life. And it was never anything terrible until after I became a mother, and specifically after a very traumatic postpartum, or pregnancy and postpartum. And I found myself in a really devastating situation and navigated my way to safety. And I was so grateful, doors opened up and I felt really divinely guided. And I just prayed my way through that, but I was still suffering so much physically. It was hard to go to the bathroom. And I honestly feel like it was hard to digest everything, like on an emotional level, on a physical level. It was really excruciating, especially if anyone has ever tried to parent while they're constipated. It's not fun at all. And I don't wish that on any mama. I mean, of course, I would never wish that on anyone. And so I got to the point where I realized one day that I didn't deserve any of that. I didn't deserve to be in this position. And my children certainly deserved a mother that felt good and wasn't just struggling to get through the day and pretending to, have fun with them. Some days I didn't feel good enough to even pretend. And I remember specifically deciding one day that I didn't want to live like that anymore. And I absolutely was not going to carry on like that. And I called out to God, to the divine, and requested divine assistance. And that's when my friend posted about the protocols that we're sharing here. And I just knew that is exactly what I felt it, like on all levels. It was a full body yes. I want that. That's what I need. And and I couldn't get it in my body fast enough. Like, I felt the nourishment before it actually even got there. It was, I don't know how to explain that really, but I felt this, it was like this emotional nourishment that I had just stepped into something that I had never experienced before in terms of nourishment. And I know what that was now. Looking back, I was like, why do I already feel better? But then when I started putting it into my body, and it was just, and I'm still in the process of healing in a lot of ways. I've totally, oh my gosh, I don't know, I don't want to do TMI, but I feel so good every day having healthy bowel movements. It's just like, I just celebrate that because it has made so much of a difference, with when our guts are in working order, then we're actually able to absorb the nutrients that we're putting in. And I had tried, like Hannah and so many other people, I feel like, different supplements and this and that, and spent a small fortune on trying to get myself well, to no avail until this blessing came along. So grateful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kahina. We've just had a request for you to turn off the music when you're speaking, because it's a distraction. If you wouldn't mind doing that, thank you. Yeah, well, when you become a parent, poop matters. You're dealing with it all the time, and your poop really matters too. And we'll talk about that in a little minute when we a bit more when we're talking more about the products. But right now, I really want to go into what's the difference between baby blues and postpartum depression, because this is something that I don't think most people are aware of, which is why we wanted to have this conversation. So the baby blues happen for a week to 2 weeks after a mother gives birth. Hormonal changes may trigger symptoms, highs and lows, weepy, emotional outbursts, stuff like that. That's totally common. Feelings of emptiness, right? I mean, you've just spent 9 months with this baby and inside of you, and now it's on the outside of you. And, whereas it was just you, now it's you and this little person, right? This little being. And so that's an enormous transformation for a woman and a family. And so what postpartum depression is when it extends beyond those first couple weeks. Okay. And so let's talk about that for a moment here. So when you're pregnant, levels of female hormones, estrogen and progesterone, are the highest they'll ever be. In the first 24 hours after childbirth, hormone levels quickly drop back to normal pre-pregnancy levels. Researchers think this sudden change in hormone levels may lead to depression. Levels of thyroid hormones may also drop after giving birth. Low levels of thyroid hormones can cause symptoms of depression. Other feelings may contribute to postpartum depression, including feeling tired, overwhelmed, and stressed. These feelings are common among new mothers. So I just want to speak to that for a moment, because what I've learned as very much a lay person here, working in the health field with our company and on my own health journey, what I've witnessed in my own colleagues and friends, is that these hormone conditions can be remedied with food. And that has been so eye-opening for me. So eye-opening. Because not one of nothing in allopathy will tell you that postpartum depletion and depression can be remedied by food, okay, let alone psychosis. So let's keep going here. So baby blues, like I said, is when you feel sad or empty within a few days of giving birth. You might have a loss of appetite, trouble sleeping. That's totally common. Postpartum depression will start several weeks after being a baby, after giving birth to your baby, rather. And then it's sort of like an extension of the baby blues. If you've got that extension into, let's say, a month later after giving birth to your baby, there's a problem. All right. And this is why we want to pay attention to moms after they've given birth. I feel like in our culture in the United States, oftentimes, we're all about the baby that's inside the mom's belly and the mom when she's pregnant. And then when she has her baby, we're all like hands off. And this is something that I want to rectify in our culture, that new moms need community. They need other moms. They need deep nutrition. And this was something that was supremely lacking for me. I was someone who'd struggled with my weight my entire adult life. I swung like a yo-yo, up and down, up and down. And, when I got pregnant, it was like, oh, whoop-de-doo, I can eat Danishes now. I can eat whatever I want. I had no clue about nutrition, no clue. And then when I did give birth, none of my friends had babies. And so the isolation was real. It was really real. While my husband was working every day, I'm like, wait, in a parallel universe, I've got women all around me. They're helping me with the dishes. They're helping me with my laundry. They're helping me with my body. They're helping me with my nutrition. That was not my reality. And I think many women suffer silently because of how our culture is focused on the nuclear family and, single family dwellings, etc. So we can't change that about our culture, but we can change the way in which those of you who are here this evening are really picking up what I'm putting down and recognizing that we can be doing so much more for women in the postpartum term, as well as prenatally, by educating them about what can happen postpartum. So how do I know if I have postpartum depression? Well, I created a list that I'm going to share with you this evening. And I'm happy to, Kahina and I were happy to forward this list to you. If you would like it, just let us know. But this is the 17 critical signs of postpartum depression. She has no energy for day-to-day tasks. She feels sad, hopeless, and empty. She feels disconnected from her baby. She is afraid she can't care for her baby. She has a hard time bathing and caring for herself. She needs to drink coffee every day. She doesn't know what to feed herself and can go long periods of time without eating or drinking. She doesn't care about what she eats, or she overeats and eats mostly processed and frozen foods because she just doesn't care. Whatever, to fill the void, just put it. She has extreme brain fog and sleeps a lot. She cries a lot. She has trouble focusing on making decisions. She has thoughts of hurting herself, and she has thoughts of hurting her baby. Losing interest or pleasure in activities she used to enjoy. Withdrawing from friends and family. Having headaches, aches, and pains, or stomach problems that don't go away. Feeling restless or moody. So what differentiates postpartum depression from postpartum psychosis? I think it's more about the intensity of what I would term the psychotic episodes, based on what Hannah was sharing in her story, where she would have hallucinations, where she would have delusions, where she wasn't able to make sense of her reality. Those I would call psychotic episodes, where she's really in this disconnected place from life. And that's very, very serious and very dangerous. Psychosis symptoms can appear suddenly, where you lose your sense of reality, including hallucinations, delusions, mood swings, and behavior changes. It does say that it's different from the more common condition called postnatal depression. It says here that you need to be diagnosed by a psychiatrist, and usually you'll need treatment in hospital with medicine. So I got these particular facts from an Australian website that is clearly steeped in allopathy. So, if you want to go down that route, you certainly can. But here's the thing that we've learned over here in our community. You just really need to be nourishing your body daily with micronutrient food and superfood daily. I cannot stress this enough. What happens when we build a baby is incredible. Women are so amazing. I could just cry with how amazing we are that we create life inside of our bodies. It's miraculous. And that baby draws every single part of us into itself. And we come out of that birth depleted. We are depleted. And so from the moment we give birth, we have to, and during the pregnancy, obviously, I mean, this is why we really need to be educating about this prenatally. We need to be giving ourselves the appropriate nutrition prenatally before we conceive. That can actually help conception, which is a whole nother presentation. We have to be nourishing our body appropriately while the baby is inside of the woman. And then we absolutely need to help her in the postpartum term. But if you're if your story is anything like mine or most women, they are not talking about nutrition to the degree that I feel that we need to be knowing about nutrition and how to nourish our body to avoid postpartum depletion, depression, and psychosis. This is why we wanted to elevate this conversation. So the treatment options in allopathy are antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotic medicines. And then they also have something else here called electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, which is a process that stimulates brain neurons with an electric current to treat mania, psychosis, and severe depression. Okay, so that sounds absolutely barbaric to me, and I personally would not want anybody to experience that, my friend or otherwise. They do also recommend talk therapy, psychology, psychological therapies, which I'm a proponent of. I've been a practitioner and a counselor and a coach for 2 decades. And I think that that's really important. So I'm going to take a breath here because I just shared a lot. And I want to invite Kahina for you to come back on here and share any thoughts about what you've been feeling about what I've just shared.
Well, I definitely feel so grateful that you're bringing this to the table, because this is definitely, I think a lot of women don't know where to turn, so the more we are sharing what we know, and like passing along the information, more and more women will be like, oh, there is another option. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Because I have never resonated with allopathy for any of my ails. And I've tried a couple of times, and I'm just really grateful to be in this regenerative community where I feel innately powerful enough to tune in with my body, to tune in with my community, and to tune in with Mother Earth, to allow my body to regenerate and heal, and remind others of their ability to do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you. I'm remembering some of Hannah's story, which she didn't share in what I read to you, but it came forward in a conversation that I had with her. So her mother-in-law was a nurse in a hospital, and her mother-in-law told her there was nothing wrong with her for 3 years. And it was her sister that brought our colleague and friend Rachel to meet with her. And that was the conversation that changed her life and got her to deeply nourish her body. After you heard her say, when I was reading it, she'd spent thousands of dollars on doctors and treatments and even naturopaths. So Hannah's story is formidable, and it's a story that was absolutely avoidable. And so I want to talk about what Oh, well, actually, I want to invite you, Kahina, to share more about what you wanted to share about here, in terms of, the power of women.
So I'm a holistic doula. Oh, I think you already shared that. I'm pretty obsessed with birth and everything to do with how powerful women are bringing this transformation through our vessels. I just feel so amazed by us as well. And I feel like the process and the nature of birth really shows our innate power and intuition. And I also feel like there has been a disconnect. And I feel like that has so much to do with gut health, with glyphosate, with the normalization of the Starbucks addiction, the fueling with coffee, exhausting the adrenals. There was a point when I was so dependent on coffee that I was just in this loop. I thought I was getting stuff done, but it really, I was just so exhausted mentally and physically. I'd get a hit from it. But it got to the point where I had to really get real with myself. And I'm eating all this organic stuff, but also doing this. And I didn't know that there was another way for me to feel energized as a single mama. So yeah, I feel like so many things that create disconnect have been so normalized, and it's kind of traumatic for me. I was like, I'm going to have to get a job. I'm going to have to put my kids in daycare. Things didn't go the way that I thought they would with this partnership. And that was, another upset to me. I couldn't even digest that because it felt so against my nature to, want to hand my kids off with somebody else. And so, yeah. I also like to look at the connection between the macro and micro of our gut health, the way that we're nourishing the planet matters. And we can't really just focus on fixing ourselves without also it being in symbiosis with helping to heal the planet, or at least that's how I feel. It feels very nourishing for me to know that the way that I'm nourishing myself is also nourishing the planet. That's what I meant to say. So hopefully that made sense. And I feel like that for me has been just, it's so important. And I feel like more people would really benefit from knowing that they're not only helping themselves to heal, but also regenerating soils. And it is, the way that we treat our Mother Earth, who cares for us. It's all so interconnected. And I just love that we're a company that cares so deeply about the earth, and mothers too. The founder of our company, Dave, I've heard him talk several times about mothers with such reverence. And I just love that. Sorry, I feel like I'm going a little bit all over the place, but yeah. The more embodied we are too, is like when we're nourished, we're going to be more embodied. And that's what I've experienced more and more and more over the course of time, that I have been singing more when I would have maybe been you know, frustrated about something and let it take me down a spiral, or, you know, just getting frustrated with life because things happen. I am so much more inclined now to play with sound and allow my voice to just kind of shift what's going on. And these are the kind of things that I've been experiencing, feeling nourished and being on this journey of healing. And it just continues to unfold, and really beautifully. Even in times of challenge, I'm just like, I'm gonna sing because I feel so supported. And that in itself brings more blessing and magic and playing. And I feel like that's so important for our kids, our children, to see us play. And I feel like they know when we're really in it, and when we're like going through the motions, like I would do sometimes, you know. But yeah, I want that for as many mamas as possible, to bring back playful motherhood and really deep connection with one another. I think even telepathy is, and psychic connection, all of these things are available to us the more nourished and embodied that we are.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. I just had this thought, a well-nourished mom is a playful mom. You know, she's able to be present, truly present with her babes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kahina, for your consciousness. I really appreciate you. So you might be wondering, what exactly are we talking about? And so I want to talk a little bit about the protocol that helped Hannah, that helped Kahina, that helped myself and so many other moms, that is really changing lives. And yes, in this you know, in this birth realm, in this postpartum, prenatal and postpartum realm, but it extends far beyond this realm as well, in terms of how these protocols can help people. But for tonight, for the purpose of this presentation, we're just talking about postpartum depletion, depression, and psychosis. So this is a 30-day protocol where, yes, you're eating whole food, real food. You're eating from a very clean list of foods, organic foods, preferably. Because if you're not eating organic food, there's chance that you are taking very toxic pesticides and herbicides into your body, and we don't want that at all. And so I'm just going to outline this protocol for you, that would be sort of like the superfood supplementation in addition to the actual whole food that you'll be eating. So the one product that I really love to highlight, it's our star product, something that I had a profound experience with my own son, who suffered from gut dysbiosis for his first 7 years, because I fed him Cheerios for the first 7 years of his life, which we now know are drenched in glyphosate and cause severe gut dysbiosis. And so that product is called Biomedic, and it is a probiotic and a prebiotic that effectively removes glyphosate from the body. We have a clinical trial. If you're a practitioner, we can share that study with you. Just ask the person that invited you here. And what we know from that clinical trial is that it reduced glyphosate by 74% in a 6-week period of time, as well as it reduced the C-reactive protein, CRP, which is the marker for inflammation, by 75% in a 6-week period of time. So why is this our star product? It's a star product because it has been certified to remove glyphosate from the body, and it's the only product in the world that has been certified to do that. So that's meaningful to me when you recognize and realize, and research glyphosate to the degree that I have, and you learn that glyphosate has been sprayed on conventional crops for over 40 years here in the United States. It's in our rain. It's in mother's milk. It's in beer and wine. It's even in organic food now because they've allowed organic label laws to include glyphosate. It's that omnipresent. So our visionary founder, Dave Sandoval, who Kahina was mentioning a moment ago, had the forethought to create a product that could effectively remove this glyphosate from the body. And I was super skeptical when this product first came out. I've been with the company 7 years, and it came out 5 years ago. And I was like, before the clinical trials came out, they were making these claims. And I was like, oh, wait and see. I just really wanted to see. But then before the clinical trials came out, my own kid was suffering from severe gut dysbiosis. I was like, okay, here we go. You are the guinea pig, Zephyr. And so I gave him the biomedic for 7 days, and all of his nausea, all of his diarrhea was gone in 7 days. And his digestive system was restored. So that's the first product. The second product is Super Aminos 23, derived from garbanzo beans, floods the body with energy in 23 minutes and helps to build muscle and burn fat. That's the protein component of this protocol. Then we've got the veggie component of the protocol, which is a green shake packed with 5 to 7, the nutritional equivalent of 5 to 7 salads in one green shake. And so it's full of veggies and superfoods. It's delicious. And I call it organic fast food, because as a busy mom, you can just suck it back on the go if you're driving or whatever. You just mix it with water and you're good to go. It is not a meal replacement. It's a snack, really, because it's not high protein. And then the fourth product is called Apothecary, which is tart cherry syrup, which is anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, anti-stress, packed with vitamin C, and has naturally occurring melatonin in it, which helps you to fall asleep and stay asleep. It's been known not only to help moms and all humans, adult humans, but it's also been known to help constipated babies, which is fascinating to me. A very diluted amount helped a very constipated baby from formula that she had been taking in. So it is pure tart cherry syrup. That's the only ingredient. Okay, so that's the Apothecary. And then the final product in the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation is actually it's something that you'd have to put on the shelf until you stop nursing. So and if you're not nursing, it's fine, you can enjoy it, but it is contraindicated for pregnancy. It's called Super Cleansar, and it's parasite killing herbs. So there is another pack called the Core 4, which has all of these products except for the Super Cleansar, that you could look into and talk with whoever invited you to be here today, and they can help you. So that's the protocol for that supported Hannah, that supported Kahina, that supported me, and many, many, many other women that we've been talking about tonight. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to transition into how it is if you are a practitioner and you want to know how you can bring this to your clients. I'd like to pivot and talk about the business for a moment. If you're not interested in hearing about the business, you will not, it will not be rude if you leave us. So if you want to go, please go. But please stay if you're interested in hearing more about that. So 7 years ago, I was a busy business coach. I wasn't looking for another stream of income. I worked with women entrepreneurs in the health field, midwives, doulas, etc., birth professionals, birthpreneurs, sacred birthkeepers, and helping them to double and triple their income and to be doing what they love in the world. And it was beautiful work, and I really, really loved it. And so when I found this nutrition, I was not looking for another stream of income. But when I felt as good as I felt after 6 months as a happy customer, and I'd lost 21 pounds. And I was like, whoop-de-doo. I know people that could really benefit from this, because I was initially a super tough customer because I was what I would call an organic freak. I used to live on an organic farm, and I kept thinking there's got to be something wrong with these products. There's got to be something wrong with them. They're too good to be true. And so, I'm still waiting for something to be wrong with these products. Like, there's nothing wrong with these products. The name of the company is Purium because we squished together pure and premium. All right. And what these products help to do is reverse years and decades of dietary damage caused by all the toxins in our food, caused by eating the wrong foods, caused by a lifestyle full of stress, working too hard, et cetera, et cetera. Can anyone relate? That was me. So I just started sharing very casually on Facebook about my weight loss and how great I was feeling. And after, several weeks of doing that, and ranking up through the company without even trying, I was like, what's possible if I actually tried? So that's when I started really looking at recruiting brand partners, other people to do the business with me, and to start creating a team locally in LA. But I also have a lot of followers and friends on Facebook. And so I started really sharing more on Facebook as well. And bottom line, it's now my number one source of income, and I'm incredibly grateful for the enormity of my organization now. And it's showing no signs of stopping. Why? Because we are living through some of the most toxic times in humanity. And the mantra for me and my team and for the wider field of Purium is to nourish and detox. It's crucial. And it's even more crucial to detox our children, which, if you're interested in learning more about that, we have ways of supporting you to do that for your children. We do have children's products. So I'm forever grateful that, Dr. Loie Medvin brought this nutrition to me, and that I've been able to help so many women, moms, families, children, elders with what it is that I have here. And my roots go deep into the birth world, though. And so helping midwives and doulas and beyond to get this nutrition into their clients is uppermost in my mind, because you are at the, you're there at the beginning for women before they even become a mom. And you're at the doorway, right, to motherhood, to parenthood. And so I'm really excited that, that some of you are here because you want to bring this to your clients. And I just would love to welcome Kahina back on to talk about, Kahina, you could have just been a happy customer. Why did you decide to start sharing Purium with your circles?
So, well, one of the main reasons was you, because when I came into this, I was just like, in this desperate state. And I kind of dove in head first, not really knowing why. I was just like, yeah, I want to be all up in this. And then was divinely aligned with you. And we're both, passionate about birth. And so that's when I really connected the dots and was like, oh my goodness, thank you. This makes so much sense, because I had sent out that prayer, and then it, this fell in my lap. And so, yeah, I'm tremendously excited to share this far and wide with as many birth workers as possible. And also for them to get this nourishment into themselves, because I feel like we as caretakers, the ones that are like excited to care for other people and see the need, sometimes we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. So to have well-nourished caretakers, sharing that love with others is something that I feel really passionate about. And that's so beautiful.
Yay. Thank you, Kahina. Did you have anything more you want to add?
Well, I was just thinking about actually, yeah, because when I was a doula before, I had Junebug. I remember a few births I attended were really late. And so I was drinking coffee and just like, that whole jacked up energy type feeling. I feel like that's pretty prevalent also amongst birth workers. And so I would love to see an evolution in like real superfoods nourishment energy going into those sacred spaces as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, we often see burnout happen for birth professionals for all the reasons why we're well aware, right? Being on call, going in the middle of the night, morning, noon, or night, holidays, it doesn't matter, right? When babies come, they come. And so supporting these caretakers of women, supporting these birth professionals to have what they need, as well as share it with their clients. This is vital. It's just vital because we don't want birth pros, just jacked up on coffee either. It's just not, that leads to adrenal fatigue, which can lead to all manner of diagnoses, to be honest. So, thank you, Kahina. And so you might be wondering, well, what does that mean exactly, Stephanie, to join the business? Well, so when you purchase a 30-day transformation, you're going to get the business for free. If you are a lactating mother and you don't want to have that super cleanser, we should talk. Because there are specific packs that you must purchase in order to get the business for free. And you can learn more by going to, if one of you, Nirankar or Kahina, could you please type in puriumenrollment.com into the chat box and you can see what the packs are. And what does it mean, get the business? So first of all, I want you to know that my team is robust. It's growing every day. We're bringing on new brand partners, and we are dedicated to showing up in service to really help people feel better. That's our intention, is to help people make the connection between what they're eating and how they're feeling, and to really offer them an opportunity to release the standard American diet. So, which causes cancer. Let's just be totally honest here. And diabetes and, heart disease, and we could go on and on. So you'd be coming onto a team that is, active and growing, and daily we are all talking about this, and supporting people daily. So that's important. When you join the company, you receive codes. So you become an affiliate, and you can share those codes with your clients. And you can just work it, where you can work the business that way, where you determine what the protocol is with myself or Kahina or whoever it is that invited you here. And then you give them the code with your recommendation, and they go and purchase, and you receive 20% of whatever they purchase, that initial sale. And then whenever they come back, you're still going to get 20%. All right. So that's the residual income nature of this business model. That might be the way that you want to work the business, and that's totally fine. I would bless that. You can make several hundred dollars a month. You can make several $1,000s a month, depending on how often you share your code. If you want to make multiple thousands of dollars a month, you want to build a brand partner organization like what I've created, and I'm prepared to teach you everything I know about how to do that. Okay. That is really where you're going to help the most people, is by creating a brand partner organization. There are daily Zooms that happen with the corporation that are educational about the products, about the business, and corporate training. I also have a weekly Zoom that is for my team that supports them to be learning about what's going on with the company and how to do this business. Because it was a learning curve for me. I'd never worked a network marketing business before, and yet I love it so much because I get to be coach, I get to be cheerleader, I get to help people with their health. It was Nirankar who dubbed me radical detox goddess. I love that term, Nirankar. Thank you so much for saying that about me. One of the things I didn't share about my story at the top is that I received a breast cancer diagnosis 3 years ago, and I've been able to really heal my body of the appearance of cancer naturally. And Purium has been my nutritional foundation for that, in addition to fruit fasting, water fasting, you name it, heavy metal detox. I've done so much, and I can share more about that if you'd like to learn more about that another time. But this health community is profound. We are constantly supporting one another on our own individual journeys, as well as helping our clients and our customers. So you're not only coming into a team, you're coming into a field, you're coming into a community of health practitioners and people who care, that want to support you in understanding how food can better your life and how superfood can better your life. And so we're constantly learning, and we're constantly sharing about what we're learning. So there's so much more I could say about how amazing this company is. We have eliminated plastic over 200,000 pounds in the last several years as we've been phasing out plastic from all of our packaging. Our founders were the lobbyists 30 years ago for the USDA organic standard label laws. And so Dave and Amy, they are salt of the earth humans who are really, I feel like myself, Nirankar, Kahina, we are representative of them whenever we are doing a Zoom like this and sharing what we know. What they've created here is a powerful vehicle for transformation of health and wealth. And so I'm a proud brand partner. I have been for 7 years, and there's no end in sight for me in terms of when I'll stop. It's a financial insurance that I can leave for my children long after I'm gone. This organization, it's a legacy really that I can leave to them. So we're at the top of the hour. I don't want to go on any longer. I'm going to stop the recording, but if you want to stay on and ask questions, please do. Thank you for your time. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being here with us. We are very, very grateful. All right. Have a blessed night. Thank you, Kahina. Thank you, Nirankar, for helping us out. Bye-bye.
Bye.